Hey y'all, I hope that you're all doing well. So I thought it would be a good idea for me to get ready for a mariachi concert. And I did wanted to talk to you guys about a couple of things that have to do with my experience with Lexapro, which is an antidepressant, and I was using it for anxiety. And the reason why I want to do this is because when I just started it, I had a lot of these questions and no one had really posted a whole bunch. So I just wanted to make sure to address some of the questions that I had when I started. Okay, so don't mind me as I'm getting ready. I'm just using some color correcting. So why did I start using Lexapro? So for many years, I was really struggling with anxiety and depression, and I don't think that I really knew that it was depression. I was anxious a lot. I would wake up at 3 a.m. and I couldn't go back to sleep. I would always think about the worst case scenario when it came to things. And I was struggling. I was tired all the time. And I went to my doctor, my physician, who is honestly a very great person. And I told her, I was like, hey, I'm just so exhausted all the time. And she was like, well, are you depressed? And I was like, I don't think so. But when she asked me that, I went home and I had already been going to therapy for about 5 months by that time. And I guess I just realized, looking back at like my time in therapy and stuff, I realized that I actually really had been sad for honestly most of my life. So I talked to my therapist about it and I told her, I was like, I'm really struggling right now. I really need some additional help. That's actually when I started my adventure with Lexapro. And I was so terrified to start it because I was just like, first of all, I don't really trust our medical system. I live in the US and I'm like, I just don't really super trust it. There's the whole opioid crisis and that was just really freaking me out. So I took like a month to really think about it. And it was a super hard decision. I was looking up people's experiences with specifically Lexapro. And I finally decided to just start to take it. And honestly, it was pretty incredible. When I started using it, I don't know if it was a placebo effect, but immediately the voices in my head, not to sound super like wild, but I usually have a lot of thoughts, a lot. And those thoughts stopped. And I remember waking up and I was like, whoa, what is this? I continued taking it. Some of the side effects that I experienced were jaw clenching. I started feeling so anxious by the second week, and I guess that is a side effect that's very common. So I was dealing with that as well, and that was pretty much all of the side effects that I noticed right away. So I was like, this is fine. I can continue to do this. And my mental health really did get better. There were times where I would be sitting and I was like, whoa, I feel relaxed. I had never felt relaxed. And honestly, it's true. It was very hard for me to get relaxed, even if I was like on vacation. And I continued taking Lexapro for about 8 months. And I did feel good, but I started to notice that I was still tired a lot and my weight was increasing I think in those 8 months, I gained 15 pounds. And I usually try to stay within the same weight range if possible. But I just got to the heaviest that I had ever been. And that was honestly incredibly triggering for me. I had seen on the subreddit for Lexapro how a lot, I would say, oh man, I can't even tell you statistics because I feel like that would be irresponsible. But I had seen how a lot of people were struggling with weight gain and they were struggling with tiredness. And so when I would see those posts of people asking for help for those side effects, others would comment, oh, well, you know, I started taking Wellbutrin or other medications and I feel great and I've dropped so much weight, or I don't feel tired anymore. And honestly, when I saw that, it raised a red flag to me that this was gonna become a chain of medications. So just one medication after the other to take care of these symptoms. And being completely honest, something inside me just felt like that's not what I wanted to do. So what I wanted to do was 100% take care of the root issue. And I feel like taking care of the root issue was part one, taking care of my mental health as it was. So I was already going to a therapist, but I also felt like I was not really taking care of my nutrition and my intake of vitamins and supplements. So for me to start another medication, it just felt like I wasn't really truly connecting with what was really going on inside, and I wasn't addressing the main issue. So I started reading a lot of books that had to do with the keto diet and how damaging grains are for mental health and what sugars and grains do to our gut health. And I got to understand that our gut health is connected in a very large part to our emotions. And I just feel like I stumbled across the answers that I was looking for. So I ended up deciding that Lexapro was just not for me. I didn't want to deal with the weight gain. I didn't want to deal with the tiredness. And I just wanted to find something that was a lot more holistic. So what I ended up doing after doing a lot of research is I ended up deciding that the keto diet was going to target the concerns that I had been having about my diet. And so a few other concerns that I had always had about my diet is that I was completely aware that I was always eating a lot of sugar. I love cake. I love cake and I love sweets and I love coffee, really sweet coffee. But yeah, like I said, I had always wanted to be someone who really reduced the amount of processed food that I ate. And I feel like the keto diet helps with that. And I have done the keto diet in a dirty version before, like lots of cheese, lots of dairy, lots of boneless burgers. But the approach that I want to take this time is spending my money buying grass-fed meat and continuing to track my calories and just making sure that I get enough protein for the muscle that I want to continue building. So I feel like I feel like I'm approaching this differently. I want to really work on healing myself. And something that I've also done is I've also cut out caffeine, because it doesn't make sense to me that I was taking these antidepressants to help with anxiety while drinking caffeinated coffee. And another thing that I have implemented, I've always been so incredibly bad about taking supplements. I live in the Pacific Northwest and I don't even drink vitamin D because I'm like, my body can do it. We got this. But I invested in purchasing athletic greens because I think that's going to make it so much easier for me to just grab the drink and go. And I also purchased a magnesium supplement that I just take with my water. So that's helping me to get hydrated. And magnesium, a lack of magnesium can also lead to anxiety. So that's what I'm trying to combat, kind of on my own. But I still have I still have the help of my therapist to help me, if things get bad. So this is not to tell people, hey, you should quit your antidepressants and, but I just don't feel like we have been educated enough on how our food affects the way that we feel and the way that we function. And I totally feel like I just had to learn that on my own. And I had to really search for the answers because I felt like no one was really giving them to me. So I have been, I reduced my antidepressants. So I've been getting off them. And this is my 3rd week of being completely off them now. I've been taking the magnesium, keto, and the athletic greens supplements for about 2 weeks now. And I feel great. And I don't think I was ever able to say that. Honestly, I feel great. I feel good. I feel energetic. I feel hopeful. I feel in control. I feel educated. And I feel like I'm ready for new positive challenges. And before I did not. I do feel like the antidepressants had their place and I did needed them for a while. I had never really experienced what it was like to have a quiet mind. And I feel like my mentality was always very reactive. So I would feel anxious and my brain would just like compound that. It was like, okay, anxious, here's some more. But I feel like with the antidepressants, I was able to experience what it was like to take a step back and ask myself, does this thought make sense? Is this thought true? What can I do about this? Do I need to worry about this? And it also gave me a chance of having a quiet mind. And I feel like if I hadn't experienced that, I don't think I would really know what it is that I am looking for. But now that I've had that, I am just trying to search for ways that I can find that while making it fit my whole new life perspective of just legitimately trying to be the healthiest that I can so that I can function as well as I can. So yeah, I hope that this was helpful. Once again, dude, antidepressants have their place. If you need them, stick to them, but also always try to dig deeper on what might be making you feel a certain way. Because a lot of the times, depression is only a symptom. It is not the root cause. So I feel like it's so much work to really find the root cause on what's making you feel a certain way, but it's super worth it. All right, guys. Well, I hope that you all have a good day, and thank you for joining me today, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.